In this video, we're going to go over the lunar phases, so what they look like, what they're called, and the percentage of illumination. So the lunar cycle is the change in appearance of the moon as it makes one full revolution around the Earth about every 28 days. So the entire cycle from beginning to end takes about 28 days, and then it repeats itself in the same pattern. So the waxing phases are the moon's visibility as increasing. So that means that it is gaining light. It's going from a new moon to a full moon. That's all the waxing side of it. So like wax on, like the movie Karate Kid, wax on, the light starts on the right. So as if you look in the sky and you see the illumination on the right side, you know that is waxing and it is gaining light. So it is moving towards the full moon. So once it hits the full moon at 100% illumination, the light starts going down, and this will be on the left. So these are called waning phases. So the moon's visibility is decreasing. So it's wane off. It is losing light and the light is on the left. So wax on, wane off. Wax on starts on the right, waning off starts on the left. And you can also think of waning as whining. So the moon is getting sad that it is losing its light. So we're going to start with the new moon. So this is when there is nothing illuminated. You do not see the moon this night in the sky. There's 0% illuminated, and it is the beginning of our lunar cycle. So this is the start of it. It's brand new. It's a baby. It's not there yet. All right. So as we start to get some light, it is then called a waxing crescent. So with the waxing crescent, you can think of a crescent. It's going to be the C shape, and it's waxing. So it's going to be the C shape with the light on the right. So this can be any illumination between 1% and 49%. Because remember, a new moon is 0%. So the next phase is waxing from 1% to 49%. Then you have the first quarter. So this is or a half moon. This is where half of the moon is illuminated. So 50% of the moon is illuminated, and the light is still on the right. So it's a first quarter. It is a quarter through the entire lunar cycle. Okay. After the first quarter, it is a waxing gibbous. So this means that the illumination is anywhere between 51% and 99%. So it's bigger than a first quarter, but smaller than a full moon. So it's less than 100%. It is still gaining light, so the light is still on the right. So it is still considered waxing. And then since more is illuminated, it is a gibbous. So think about gibbous. If I were to write in a big capital G, it would take up a lot more room in a circle. And we'll go over this in the bullseye diagram, which has all this information in one spot, and that will be the next video. Okay. After a waxing gibbous, you get a full moon. So that means 100% of the moon is illuminated, and this only happens about once a month. And it's at the very peak of light. So you cannot get any more illuminated than 100%. So after a full moon, it starts losing light. So it's become waning or whining because the moon is losing light. So it's still bigger than a quarter. So you could still put in a big G in it. So it is a waning gibbous. And the illumination is 99 to 51%. So it's not a full moon and it's not the last quarter. After the waxing gibbous is a third quarter. So we're a third quarter through the cycle and 50% is illuminated. So since it is losing light, the light is going to be on the left and it's only 50%. That is one night in the month. After a half, we have to get smaller again. So anything less than 50% illuminated on the left, it's considered a waning crescent. So it's going back to look like that little C shape and it's losing light. So once again, it's waning, it's waning, and that percent illumination is 49 to 1%. So it's less than a quarter, but more than a new moon. Then the very last step is back to a new moon, 0% illuminated, there is nothing in the sky, and this is where the cycle starts over again. So it starts at a new moon, ends at a new moon. Starts at a new moon, ends at a new moon. In the next video, we'll be doing a bullseye diagram together to see everything on paper, and it's a really good visual.